episode of NRR, and I hope you enjoyed that new intro that I had. Hopefully you guys liked the outro, but anyway, that's besides the point. Today we're going to be reviewing the 2020 Federated Auto Parts 400 from Richmond Raceway, and man, what is this, the second short track where we've had a snooze fest? Man, I'm sick of these races with these snooze fests. Like, that's why Richmond Raceway will always be the worst short track in NASCAR. But yeah, anyway, we're gonna review the top 10, then we're gonna rate the race, and after that we're gonna be looking at the playoff standings because next week is gonna be the final race of the round of 16, and there's some drivers a couple drivers who are in a must-win situation once we head to Bristol next weekend. So let's go ahead and kick off this episode. Finishing in first was Brad Keselowski. It was a great race for that 2 team because I think that was his car from Loudon, and I bet Keselowski wanted to do a cool burnout with it, but he wanted this, but he wants that car for Phoenix. But yeah, but it's 2 for 2 for Brad Keselowski. He should feel really pumped right now, but he doesn't know. But he said he doesn't know what to look too far ahead. Like, they've just got to get there. Like, the next round is going to be really difficult because you have 3 different racetracks. You got a mile and a half, Las Vegas, a super speedway, Talladega, and the end it off, you got a road course at the Charlotte Roval. But still, I bet Keselowski's really pumped about, their performance and the way they ran at short tracks, because they've been really good at the short tracks. They stole that win from Chase Elliott, even though Chase Elliott really choked. And then, New Hampshire's not really a short track, but it's a flat track. And then they won at Richmond tonight, and then they did pretty good at Martinsville earlier this year. They finished what 3rd place or something. But yeah, for Keselowski, he said that he felt like coming in here with with their Ford Mustang, that they would run well, but yeah, that must have been awesome for Brad Keselowski. Also, Keselowski is looking like a championship favorite right now. What does this mean for Phoenix for him? Keselowski said that he's got to get there. Like, the last 2 years, he haven't made it all the way, so they got to get all the way there. But if they can get to Phoenix, they're going to be really good because Brad Keselowski hasn't made the championship four since 2017, and really no one was paying attention to Harvick and Keselowski in the championship four because everyone was focused on Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch because those were the main 2, and everyone knew that Truex was going to win the championship. So that's why it doesn't really count as a championship pick for Brad Keselowski back in 2017, but this time they do look like a championship favorite, and they could actually pull up an upset on Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. But overall, really great night for Brad Keselowski in the 2 team. I was about to say the 4 team, but yes, getting their 4th win of the season on the 750 package, so that's really impressive for them. And I believe Phoenix is going to be with the 750 pack, so that's going to be an advantage for him because he has 3 wins, or actually 4 wins on the 750 package. I don't know how many, but only Harvick and Hamlin have 1 apiece. Finishing in second, also the driver who I picked to win, was Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. had a pretty decent night. I was really pretty surprised that they ran as good as they do, with the way that I heard about their car fell, at the beginning. Like, I didn't watch really the beginning of the stage because I had something to do, guys. I started watching a bit of the race, around stage 2, but I know Hamlin won stage 1. But for Martin Truex, but getting back to Truex, it really wasn't doing anything that, Truex wanted it to do, or that they've done at Richmond in the past, because they've been good. They swept Richmond last year in 2019, but they just had to battle all night. They fought hard, and the guys for them did a great job, with adjustments, pit stops, and all that to just execute and keep them up front. So it was a good solid night for Martin Truex Jr. Still looking for that second one in 2020. He's come so close ever since Kansas or New Hampshire. He's just came so close, but just not enough for Martin Truex Jr. But he is still another championship favorite. So watch out for Martin Truex Jr. He's gonna get that second win of 2020, maybe even at Bristol. We'll see. He's won at 2 short tracks. He's never won at Bristol, the most popular short track. So we'll see what happens. But overall, a really decent night for Martin Truex Jr. Finishing in third was Joey Logano. It was a pretty calm race, and they just kind of hung around in the top 3 the whole time. I heard Logano said that he felt like their car was pretty good in the beginning of the race. The track kind of tightened up a little bit, and they just lost a little bit of speed, to Truex and Austin Dillon a little bit, and also obviously Brad Keselowski. But yeah, I bet he's proud of his teammate. because Keselowski was really fast, and it just seemed like if they fixed the turn, Logano got loose off, so it seemed like pick your poison a little bit, but it just seemed like they had a third or fourth place speed in their car, and they finished third with the Mustang. So they were doing all they had to do, and they scored stage points and a top 5, and puts them in a pretty good spot for next weekend. And I bet he's proud of the effort and proud of what they picked up here lately since the playoffs started. But they just have to keep it rolling, and if they keep getting top 5s, they'll get all the way to Phoenix. But they just have to keep doing that. But overall, a really solid night for Joey Logano. Once again, still looking for his second one of 2020. I mean, his third one of 2020, because he has not won since the pandemic. Finishing in 4th was Austin Dillon. I feel like that if I were an Austin Dillon fan, you feel like that they just gave one away tonight. Like, their Chevrolet was so fast. They had a massive day for stage points, which is going to help them, through the big picture wise. They had a speeding penalty in stage 1 that kind of drove them back, and to come from the back to the front in that stage just shows how fast their Chevy was that night. And, the number 3 team is on fire right now and showing up when it matters. Because, Dillon said that he has a line at Richmond and has been working for them. Like, he runs a little lower on the straightaway, and it gives him good forward drive. And, he saw some other drivers start picking it up and laying the rubber down on that line, so that was a bit of an advantage for Austin Dillon. And it might have hurt them a little bit at the end of the race, but the biggest thing is that when they came to pit road for their second green flag stop in stage 3, they were trying to bring everybody down. But, the number 1 car was in his mirror on tires. And, he overdrove the entry just a little bit, thinking that, he needed to avoid getting rear-ended. And then it was like, oh no, I want to hit the red box. So so he had to make another lap around the track. But also, he said in his interview that it was a red box, but no, it was orange. But, that cost them like 3 seconds. It probably killed their deal, but it was still early, so who knows. But I bet he had a lot of fun out there tonight, and had think they had the best cars tonight, because they did have one of the best cars. Like, I'd say they had the best Chevrolet. They didn't have really the best car, because Keselowski kept passing him. He was better than Logano, but not better than Truex. He had like a 3rd place car at best. But yeah, Austin Dillon, it looks like the underdog or the dark horse in the playoffs right now. And if I say that and he gets eliminated in the round of 12, then I'm going to say he's going to be the underdog or the dark horse of the round of 16. But overall, a really solid night for Austin Dillon. He's in a really comfortable position in the playoffs, plus 36 over the cut line. That is really good for him right now. Rounding up the top 5 is Chase Elliott. First off, they were way better than they've been at Richmond, probably ever. So, because Chase Elliott said that he thought that was a big improvement for us. Because it is, because they haven't really been doing that good at Richmond in the past. But they really needed it there, because this, that has been a really, really tough track for Elliott and the team. Like, he said that they thought that their Chevy Camaro was good, especially through the middle portion, just got a little behind. But, I think as the race went on to roll the center as good as, they needed to late in a run. But, they were way, way better than they've ever been, I feel like, before at Richmond, and consistently all night too. And I thought that was a pretty big step for them at a track they've really struggled at. So what a way for Chase Elliott to finally overcome a track that he struggled in the past couple years. But hey, now you know what to do next year when you go back to Richmond. But yeah, a really solid night for Chase Elliott, and I think he's already into the next round of the playoffs, because I'm predicting this man will win at Bristol next Saturday night. I could be right, I could be wrong. We'll see. Hopefully he doesn't door slam into other drivers to, try to steal the win. But we'll see what happens. But overall, a really solid night for Chase Elliott. Finishing 6th was Kyle Busch. Now, if you guys were watching the Xfinity Series race, it was kind of the same as, the Xfinity Series race, just not quite enough turn in the middle of the corner to keep wrapping on the long runs. Like the short runs, it seemed like, Kyle Busch was actually a little bit loose, and then it was starting to go a little bit tight, and then it was tight, loose, something like that. But just not enough overall grip, I guess. But kind of been fighting that a little bit, this year for that 18 team. Like They gave themselves a great fight because Adam Stevens not being there, and he had who Jacob Cantor or something to fill in. I think he did a pretty good job getting a top 10 for Kyle Busch, so that was pretty good. And, and we all know that Adam was, back at home, just watching the race, seeing what was gonna happen, since Kyle didn't have his regular crew chief. But overall, that's all they had, and they fought hard with their M&Ms, Camry, and they just came up short of a top 5. So it was a pretty decent night for Kyle Busch. He sits comfortably in the playoffs right now, but not for long when you have other drivers who look really competitive right now. But we'll see what happens to Kyle Busch because he's looking pretty good. We're going to Bristol. He could actually win there. We'll see. And a top 10 night for Kyle Busch, so that's pretty good. So yeah, but he's still looking for that first win of 2020. I think he will go winless this year. I'm just going to say it like that. Like, if he doesn't win at Bristol, he is definitely going winless. So we'll see what happens. But overall, really solid night for Kyle Busch, who does not have Adam Stevens. Finishing 7th was Kevin Harvick. This was really not the night for Kevin Harvick. They kind of struggled a little bit. They nearly missed pit road. They locked up the brakes and nearly missed pit road. But then they made it to pit road but ran over the commitment box, and that got them a penalty. They had to come back, and they got a 7th place finish. They got a top 10, but not a top 5 or a win, knowing Kevin Harvick and Denny Hamlin recently. So really, if I were a Kevin Harvick fan, I'd actually be kind of disappointed because you know that your driver who has, 8 wins this season already can do better than that. So yeah, but it was okay for Kevin Harvick, but not really the best night for them. They're not really the team or the race team, to do good on the 750 package. Neither is Denny Hamlin, but the other drivers are taking advantage of it, especially Brad Keselowski and Mark Truex Jr. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Harvick, going to Bristol, but man, just not the night for Kevin Harvick. He struggled and made some pretty non-Kevin Harvick mistakes tonight. Finishing 8th was Eric Almirola. Their Ford was I bet it was a handful all night for them. Everyone kept it in and kept working on it. They got a top 10 finish. It was a good point day for them. That's the big thing. Now they need to go to Bristol next weekend, run well, and get themselves into the next round. That's the main goal because I believe they're I'll pull it up. When we do go to the standings after this race, but I think they're around 10th or 11th or 9th, 10th or I think they're 10th or 11th or something. But yeah, they're in a pretty big cushion. But right now, you got drivers like Byron and Custer they can actually point their way in. So we'll see if they can take advantage. But Almirola needs a good point stay at Bristol in order to keep his playoff hopes alive. So we'll see what happens. But overall, really a decent night for Eric Almirola. Finishing in 9th is Alex Bowman. How about that? They ended up top 10 at Richmond. That is like a miracle. They had a really good car and definitely better than a 9th place car. Bowman made his fair share of mistakes and had some issues getting on and off pit road. They lost some time there. And I bet he's pumped up, for Truck Hero and Chevy Goods. Because it is really weird to be this pumped after running 9th, especially when they had a much better car than 9th place. Last time they were here, they ran, 24th or something. But this is good momentum for them going into the cutoff race next week in Bristol. So I have to applaud Alex Bowman with that. So we'll see what happens at Bristol next week because he kind of wrecked. He wrecked out there last time they were there, in the spring race. Not the Bristol Star race, but the spring race. But we'll see what happens. But overall, if you're an Alex Bowman fan, you gotta be proud of him because he is terrible. I mean, terrible at Richmond. But he was able to turn it around. I believe that's his first top 10 at Richmond or something. I don't know. But yeah, overall, congratulations and a really solid night in his eyes for Alex Bowman. And then rounding up the top 10 is Clint Bowyer. Also, I loved Clint Bowyer's paint scheme. It was just like Chase Briscoe's, from the Xfinity Series. That's a beautiful paint scheme. I love that paint scheme. The only best paint scheme from all the Fords all this year. But anyway, they were just Clint Boyer, they were just awful click. Honestly, like, I thought they'd come to Richmond and run better than that because they're really good at short tracks, but they needed to run better than that. Like, 10th place isn't going to cut it when you get in the playoffs. Like, they're looking for more than that on these short tracks in particular. Like, they've still got one more next Saturday night at Bristol, and it's a lot of fun going to Bristol. Being nervous about something, there's a sense of fun in that. Well, maybe for Boyer, but not for me, definitely. But I bet he's looking forward to next weekend and seeing how it all shakes out. Like, they were good the last time there, and there's no reason why they can't be it again, because they finished second there when they were supposed to, finish like, 7th or 6th place? But no. They finished second to Brad Keselowski, so we'll see what happens. But overall, a pretty decent night for Clint Boyer. Not something that he really wants, but, a really solid night for Clint Boyer in the 14 team. Now to rate this race. If I had to rate this race, guys, this was a bit of a snooze fest, even when I was even watching the first stage. The stage 2 was on. I like stage 2 a little bit because, of seeing all the strategy and seeing Austin Dillon running pretty well. But stage 3, complete snooze fest. What, a 200 straight laps or something, or more, something like that? I don't know. Guys, it was just not fun. It's not the driver's fault. They're trying to be as safe as possible, trying to run very well. But, there's some drivers out there who needed cautions. Like Matt DiBenedetto, he said that his car was starting to be a little bit better, but then they just needed a caution. And, yeah, we just did not get a caution. So if I had to rate this race, the snooze fest, the 2020 Federated Auto snooze fest, that was a bad pun right there. I give it a 4 out of 10. Actually, it's a short track, so I'll give it 4.5 out of 10. Not the best short track race. I was just really bored, and it was hot in my room, and I nearly fell asleep, so I turned on the fan and just closed my eyes, and I woke up, and I just opened my eyes and decided, fine, I'll just watch the rest of this race. And I was mostly on my phone, but I'm not trying to make fun of NASCAR. I'm just saying, I just do not like these long races. I know Richmond is a short track, but at least, I don't know what you can fix it. Reduce the laps. I don't even know what to do at short tracks like that. But yeah, this is why Richmond is just not the most enjoyable short track. That's why it's like 3rd of 3 short tracks. So yeah, that's why I just don't like going to Richmond, because it's not as fun as like Martinsville and Bristol. But yeah, I give it a 4.5 out of 10. Let me know what you guys would give in the comment section below. So here are the playoff standings after Richmond. You got Kevin Harvick, who won the Southern 500 last Sunday, so he's advanced. Keselowski won, so he is advanced. And Denny Hamlin is 64 points above the cut line, and he is automatically advanced by points, because if you're by the second race of each round, if you're up by more than 60 points, then you're automatically in. Then you got Joey Logano, not locked in 4th, Truex 5th, Dillon in 6th, Elliott 7th, Bowman in 8th. Then you got Kyle Busch in 9th, Eric Almirola in 10th, so I was right, it was like 10th. Kurt Busch 11th, and Clint Boyer 12th, got a bit of a cut line. Got William Byron in, dang, I can't even count, 13th, Custer 14th, DiBenedetto 15th, and Blaney, who was in a lot of trouble, in 16th. So right now, these are your 4 drivers below the cut line after Richmond. William Byron is only 3 points above, and Cole Custer's 3 points below and 8 points below. So these two can point their way in. They just need like 3-4 of these drivers had bad days, or they had to finish better than them. But DiBenedetto and Blaney, 25 and 27 points below the cut line. These two are in a must-win situation going into Bristol. That's my pick for the Bristol win. But Blaney is good at Bristol, but he's had bad luck. I'm not trusting Matt DiBenedetto, because he did better in Levi Family Racing equipment, Toyota equipment. And then a step higher is Wood Brothers Racing, and he didn't even finish in the top 10 at Bristol earlier this year. I'm not really confident in Matt DiBenedetto, so I think he is out of here. I feel like Byron will be out, and I think these 4 will actually be out. But guys, anything can happen. It's 500 laps, 500 miles at Bristol Motor Speedway, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, And also, for my playoff predictions, one driver that I said was eliminated is currently in 6th, so I think he's okay. Kurt Busch is right now in 11th, so he could still be eliminated. We'll see. And then 2 drivers, I think these 2 will still be eliminated. But I think from my round of 16 prediction, I think I got. So far, I think I just got 1 wrong, and that's it. Kurt Busch could still get eliminated, but anything can happen. It's 500 miles, like I said earlier. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I changed my name on my Instagram. I'll put that in my new outro that I'm gonna put in a minute. I'm just gonna play in a minute. But yeah, that's about it. So, got the Bristol race. After the Bristol race, I will be making my round of 12 predictions of who the 4 drivers who I think will be eliminated after the round of 12, and then after that make the Las Vegas race in them. And also, I am most likely going to be going to Texas Motor Speedway to see Jimmy Johnson's last race at Texas Motor Speedway, where he has 7 wins. Hopefully, he can get win number 8. I'm very excited. I'm gonna be out there, and I'll be vlogging. I'll let you guys know if I won't be talking, because I most likely won't be talking. I'll just be, like, just filming short things of the race. But, yeah, so that's about it. So, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.